Steve with SNS Mowing Service, reading Ed Myletts' Max Out Your Life, Chapter 4. Max out your confidence, changing your identity and gaining winning confidence. As I mentioned in my opening chapter, I struggled with my self-confidence. I mentioned the physical challenges I had as a child, but there were emotional challenges as well. I grew up in a great and loving family, a family that, like many, had some dysfunction from time to time. Our family has a history of having some dependency issues with drugs and alcohol addiction. As a result, there was a dynamic in my household that at times cultivated uncertainty. Between this dynamic and my physique, it isn't hard to understand why I started off withdrawn. All of these things contributed to my insecurities. I've been able to overcome those insecurities using the techniques I'm sharing with you here. Today, my self-confidence comes from the belief that I can do the necessary work to be great in my business, in my personal life, and with my fitness. I've built that reputation with myself over time, and that is what builds genuine confidence. Because I've consistently built the habits of keeping the promise I make. Let me start over here. Because I've consistently built the habit of keeping the promises I make to myself. I trust I can achieve the goals I set. I expect to achieve them. The very foundation of my confidence comes from this. People who win are confident. People who struggle and lose lack confidence. If you don't think you are the best, how can you ever become the best? You've got to believe in yourself, and that comes down to having confidence. Develop your confidence by keeping your promises to yourself. What's your identity? Our self-confidence, or what we believe we are worth, equals our identity. Our identity is how we see ourselves, and you can never, long-term, succeed beyond your identity. The most powerful force in the human spirit is to live congruently with the ideas and beliefs that we hold true about ourselves. That self-image creates our identity. Identity is like a thermostat with a preset temperature. I want you to listen to me on this. This is the invisible force that dictates the entire direction of your life. You set the temperature for your life based on your identity. The thermostat in a room that has been set to a specific temperature has the job of maintaining that specific temperature at all times. If a door is open and a gust of cold air sweeps through the room, the thermostat kicks in and combats the cool air with heat to bring the temperature back to the preset degree. Same thing if the door is blown open with a gust of heat. The thermostat responds with cold air until the room is back to normal. A good thermostat is never more than 2 degrees from its preset temperature. That preset temperature is your identity, and the thermostat, you, controls it. Think of it this way. If you have set that temperature at 75 degrees relating to money, happiness, success, fitness, love, etc., then no matter what happens in your life, that preset temperature will kick in. If you heat up the conditions of your life to where things keep getting better and better, you will unconsciously turn on the AC to cool your success back down to that resting identity self-belief back down to the resting identity belief temperature of 75 degrees, self-sabotage. It will appear in many ways that feel induced by circumstance and seem out of your control, but in reality, you've cooled your life back down to match your beliefs and identity. The reverse is also true. If you start slipping too low, things start falling apart and you begin to really struggle. That heater of your life will kick in and warm things back up. You'll always find a way to get back on your feet and back to that 75 degrees. It will always seem like you keep falling on hard times or that you are just unlucky. Then suddenly you'll get a little break and things will go back to normal for a while. They may even get good again. And then sure enough, something will happen to bring you back down. Sound familiar? Most people think the outside world will dictate your success. The truth is, it's an internal game, not external. You don't have control of outside elements, obstacles, but allowing them to impact your path to success is in your control. If you are in control of that thermostat, and you are, then regardless of the outside elements, you will find a way back to your identity temperature. So how do we raise our identity? Number one, through our associations. If you are a 75-degree identity and you associate with people who are 140-degree identity, you can't help but heat up your thermostat simply by being around them. When you are around successful people, you rise to meet that level of heat. Your associations are in your control. They are allowed into your room to heat it up versus allowing an external element, obstacles in the door to cool you off. If you are not happy with a 75-degree income or a 75-degree education for your child, then you must get around people with intensity and drive to heat you up. Seek to add new associations in your circle to stretch your vision and give you reasons to raise your temperature. It has been said that you are the average of the 5 people closest to you. Do you know why? It's because proximity is power. We have multiple identities: happiness, wealth, fitness, faith, etc. You may have a friend incredibly strong in faith, so they bring value in that area. But they are not in great shape, so they are not the same person you look to for guidance in fitness. If you notice, you have no association that challenge you, or let me start over again. If you notice you have no association that challenge you or inspire you to improve to their level in an area of life, then it's crucial you change your association immediately. If you desire to be wealthy, do you have wealthy friends? Or are all your friends broke and struggling? You can't be in a circle of successful, wealthy people if the only people you associate with are strugglers. The key to altering the direction of your life is to alter the temperature we are comfortable living in. The thermostat is the governor of your life, and until you can alter it, you will tolerate living at the temperature that is most comfortable. The next step will show you how to change that area. 2, do a massive amount of work in a short amount of time. Putting in a massive amount of work on a specific area alters our identity beliefs because we are doing things we've never done before. When you do this, you'll naturally start to believe that you are worth more because you are working harder. If you normally make 10 calls a day at the office and now you're making 100, it won't be long until you believe that you are worthy of greater success because of it. If you're putting in more work, you will expect more gains. Nobody wins by working less. Are you working hard? I mean, really hard? Your max out level? The truth is, if you are not putting in the time, effort, and energy every single day, someone else is. Don't create an illusion of hard work. You can't cheat the grind. It knows. Number 3, develop your confidence. Self-confidence comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. Self-confidence is, in truth, self-trust. You do this by building a relationship with yourself where you know you can trust you. As I mentioned earlier, self-confidence is the result of preparation and telling yourself you are going to do something and then doing it. It's simple. It's about creating trust and building a relationship with yourself, which changes your identity belief over time. Confidence is not about being cocky. It's not arrogance, and it's not the opinion of others. There is a reason I'm covering this again in depth. Self-confidence is also an internal game, not external. This is a huge discovery I've made in my life. And once I've made it, it was liberating. I realized my self-confidence is in my control. Self-confidence is a reflection of how you feel about yourself, not how others perceive you. Having self-confidence, the way you treat yourself, serves as an instruction to others on how to treat you. I don't mean that you have the power to make people think a particular way about you, but your confidence informs others on what kind of attitude to have towards you. Proactive. Letting others know how you treat you is more important than worrying about their opinions of you. The truth is, people aren't thinking about you because they are thinking about what you think of them. Let me read that again. The truth is, people aren't thinking about you because they are thinking about what you think of them. Don't be dominated by people's thoughts, opinions, or judgments. Reactive. Work hard for your own approval or God's approval. Those are the only ones that matter. Create a life that satisfies you. If you are emotionally dependent on other people's approval, you will always be captive in a prison controlled by others. The irony is that these other people likely have a very little long-term significance in your life. Yet, you are willing to give away your precious power, emotions, and control. The biggest dream killer of so many is their addiction to the opinions of others. Confident people take ownership of their faults and mistakes. They are aware. They don't blame others for their failings or shortcomings. They have the confidence to admit when they are wrong and then the awareness to change it by moving forward. They are accountable. Get your uniform dirty. All this thinking is great. But if you want to win, you've got to get out there and get dirty. When you take a chance and put your efforts and work out into the world, it creates a wave of energy towards your goals, regardless of the results. It's a message to the world, to all those around you, and most importantly, to yourself, that you are willing to accept the pain of loss as well as the reward of a win. People who are the most confident are the ones who've done the most work. Your work and efforts strengthen you, positions you for wins, and prepares you for the life you are pursuing. You cannot skip the work. Prepare yourself for the life you want. Put in the work so you are prepared to live the life you want. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. SNS Mowing Service, and we out. Have a great day.